They looked me up and down like I didn't belong, like I was lost, like I had wandered into the wrong place, even though I was dressed sharper than everyone in that lobby. "Ma'am, this line is for business clients only," the teller sneered. The manager added, "We reserve this section for real transactions." I didn't yell. I didn't flinch. I simply said, "I have a 12:30 with the branch director." They laughed, but 10 minutes later they weren't laughing. They were locked out of their systems, their jobs suspended, their world flipped upside down. Because I wasn't just another woman waiting in line. I was Danielle Owens, Chief Operations Officer of the equity firm that had just acquired their entire bank. And from wherever you're watching this, stay with me, because sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is silence. Sometimes you don't need to shout to set fire to injustice. You just walk in, let them show you who they are, and then show them who you really are. Has anyone ever mistaken your calm for weakness? Let me tell you what happened the day a bank humiliated me and ended up begging for mercy. The bank lobby was crowded with the quiet tension of midday business. People clutched deposit slips, glanced at their watches, and whispered to each other while monitors flashed exchange rates and bank offers. At the front of the line stood a sharply dressed black woman in a tailored navy pantsuit, holding a leather folder and a calm smile. Her name was Danielle Owens, and her silence radiated confidence. But confidence in certain zip codes was often mistaken for arrogance, especially when it came wrapped in black skin and designer heels. "Excuse me, ma'am," said a young teller with thin lips and a forced smile. "This line's for business clients. Personal accounts are to the left." Danielle didn't flinch. She responded with polite clarity, "I am here for a business account. I have an appointment." The teller's smile tightened. "Sure you do. Please step aside. We need to prioritize our real clients today." Behind her, a man in a polo shirt chuckled and whispered to his friend, "Some people just don't get it." Danielle didn't move. "I have a 12:30 meeting with branch director Kevin Ballard." Now the manager approached, a middle-aged white man with a red tie and a clipboard. "Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to leave if you can't follow basic directions. This isn't a public building. You're disrupting operations." Danielle slowly opened her folder. Inside were printed documents, spreadsheets, and something else. A card with gold embossing. "I'm not here to disrupt," she said softly. "I'm here to acquire." He frowned. "Acquire what?" "This branch." For a second, it didn't register. The silence broke when someone behind the counter laughed. "Right, and I'm the CEO of Amazon." Danielle turned slightly. "I'm Danielle Owens, Chief Operating Officer of Paragon Equity Holdings. We just finalized the acquisition of Tri-State Financial this morning." The color drained from Kevin's face. "I wanted to see for myself how your team operates before my meeting upstairs. I arrived anonymously on purpose." His lips parted, but no words came. Danielle continued, "Unfortunately, what I saw confirms the data we pulled. Consistent patterns of racial bias in customer treatment, disproportionately long wait times for minority clients, and an excessive number of flagged accounts that seem to coincide with zip codes and surnames." A security guard who had been moving toward her suddenly halted in place. "You don't get to make those calls anymore," Danielle added calmly. "I do." She pulled out her phone and pressed a single button. "Compliance," she said into the mic. "It's Danielle. I'm at the Main Street branch. Full suspension of staff pending internal review. Lock credentials." "Yes, all of them, now." A loud ping echoed from the teller computers. One by one, screens froze. Kevin took a step forward, his voice trembling. "Miss Owens, wait, let's discuss this." Danielle looked him in the eye. "There was a moment to talk. It was when I said I had an appointment, not when you tried to erase me." Someone recorded from the corner. Phones were out now. The silence had turned to stunned awe. The same teller who dismissed her earlier leaned over and whispered, "I'm sorry." "I didn't know who you were." Danielle's reply was instant. "That's the problem. You only respect power, not people." She walked toward the private elevator at the back of the lobby. Every eye followed her. The man in the polo shirt who had laughed earlier lowered his head. 10 minutes later, the HR director arrived with a folder full of pink slips and temporary badges for emergency hires. News started to spread among staff. Danielle Owens was in charge, and she was not a woman to be underestimated. Kevin chased after her. Please, I have a family. She paused. So do the countless clients you've humiliated. I didn't mean to. I'm not here to teach you how to treat humans decently, she said. That lesson should have come long before I walked through your doors. Upstairs, she met with the acquisitions team. I want a full report of every racial complaint filed in the last 2 years, she ordered, and cross-reference with recorded footage where available. Yes, ma'am, said the new interim branch manager, a young black man who had once applied for a teller job at this very location and was turned away. Danielle turned toward the glass wall and stared down at the silent lobby below. You want to see what change looks like? She said to her assistant. It's not always loud. Sometimes it walks in calmly and fires everyone. She didn't smile, she didn't gloat. But outside the bank, where a small group had gathered to watch what was going on, someone whispered, "That woman just fired half the staff with one phone call." A teenager nodded slowly and said, "She didn't just fire them. She reminded them who holds the real power." Later that week, the story hit social media. A 2-minute clip went viral. Danielle standing still as voices dismissed her, then calmly showing them their mistake. Comments flooded in. This is what grace under fire looks like. Don't ever judge a woman by her skin or her silence. She didn't shout. She didn't curse. She just ended them professionally. The branch reopened with new hires within 3 days. Staff were retrained. A permanent diversity and equity liaison was appointed, Danielle's initiative. And on the lobby wall, where marketing slogans used to hang, a new frame quote appeared. It read, "Respect isn't something you give when someone earns it. It's what you give because they're human." During Unani, Keen. A customer walked in and saw it. He asked the new teller who that quote was from. The teller smiled proudly. "That's our new CEO." Weeks passed, but the echo of that moment never faded. The footage of what happened inside that bank spread across every platform. Not because I raised my voice, but because I didn't need to. I let the truth speak. And in a world that often rewards loudness over substance, that hit differently. The branch reopened under new management, better training, fairer systems, and a reminder posted in every hallway that dignity isn't something you hand out based on appearance. It's something you protect, regardless of status. I didn't go back there to gloat. I didn't need to. My work was bigger than one building. I had made my point and changed a culture. The same staff who dismissed me now sit through training videos that include my name. The same clients who once waited in frustration now walk into a place where respect is policy, not privilege. And me, I keep walking into rooms where they don't expect me, where my skin, my silence, my grace still confuse people. And every time I smile, not to please, but to remind them, power doesn't always knock. Sometimes it walks in quietly. And by the time you realize it was there, it's already rewritten the rules. So next time they underestimate you, let them. Because when the time comes, you won't need to prove yourself. You'll just take your seat at the head of the table and let the room fall silent, exactly like they did for me.